Live from Los Angeles, California, it's the Michael Nayt Show. And welcome to another edition of the Michael Nayt Show. I, of course, am your host, Michael Nayt. Great to have you here tonight. We also have a chat room. If you see the little tab sticking out at the upper top left side of the screen, you can open up that. It shows you several chat rooms, and we can go right into where it says the Michael Nayt Show, and I'm sitting in there, so if you have any questions or anything that you'd like me to ask our guest tonight, we can do that, sure enough, and simple and all that good things. First up, though, before we bring them on, of course, we always play a song, and so we're going to get one downloaded into here, and it's going to be called Nothing to Hide. So here we go with Sarantos and Nothing to Hide.
How can I change you back into what you used to be? It's what I want nothing to hide.
And that was my guest, Sarantos, with Nothing to Hide. And I'd like to take this time now to bring him on into the show. Welcome, Sarantos, to the Michael Nayt Show. Glad to have you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, on Nothing to Hide, was there a special meaning for you with that song?
Absolutely. There's a couple different meanings to it, but I think the primary meaning is obviously, if any of your listeners have watched the video, there is a guy who has a secret passion, and a significant other keeps thinking that he's cheating on her, and she keeps accusing him of things. But at the end of the video, there's a cool little twist where the thing that he doesn't want to hide and he's doing on the side and he really wants to do is his music. So I thought that was kind of a cool little twist. And then if you look at the charity for the song is the American Lung Association. And the reason for that, when I look at the lyrics and I try to decide which charity I'm going to choose for each song, I myself personally had asthma. And I can tell you that, up until a couple of years ago when I'd have to take my inhaler, I was kind of shy. You kind of are hiding it. You go to the bathroom to take it. You kind of feel embarrassed that you have to take your inhaler to breathe, which sounds kind of funny, but it's really something. There's some stigmata in our society about it.
Right.
So I thought, asthma is not anything anyone should have to hide. You shouldn't have to hide your inhaler. So I think that was kind of the double meaning for the song if you look at the lyrics.
Yeah, well, I use an inhaler, and I also take Singular because I have COPD, and so I can kind of understand that.
Yeah, unless you have an inhaler, I think most people don't think about it. But everyone remembers, especially some of the '80s movies where they make fun of the kid with the inhaler and it was on his head, and there's still a perception out there that's not accurate, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, how long have you been involved with music? Has it been like something that's been like a lifelong passion for you, or?
It really has. I really have wanted to give it a true shot for the longest time, but everyone has ups and downs in life, distractions, things they kind of do.
Right.
And obviously at this point, I still have a day job. And some people kind of think, oh, you're doing this on the side. But the truth is, I probably put well over 40 to 50 hours a week into my music. I would love nothing more than for it to take off and for me to be able to do it as my sole career, I guess.
Right.
But in the meantime, you got to be a little realistic. You can't move out to LA and give up everything and just kind of think that it's just not realistic. I think you have to kind of keep evolving as an artist, keep working hard at it, and obviously I'm never going to give up. And I told my fans, I'm going to release a new song and video every month till the day I die, because there's no reason not to. I love doing it, so why wouldn't I do it forever?
Right. Yeah, music is great, And now I read a little bit on your website that you actually started quite young writing lyrics, and I guess your mother and father had. Oh, I think we. Yeah, we did. Let's see if we can get him back here. We did lose him. We'll get him back. Hopefully, we'll get him back.
There we go. How are you?
Okay, good. Yeah, we must have lost connection. No big deal.
I lost it. Sorry about that. I am on a landline, but I'm not sure what happened.
Well, sometimes it just happens, so don't
Yeah.
don't worry about it. I just stop and I just get you reconnected and we just keep going.
All
Now,
right. I heard part of your question about writing lyrics for
yeah,
very young.
yeah, I read on your website that like I guess your mom and dad had a diner and you would sit in there and people watch and write lyrics. And about how old were you when you first started writing lyrics?
Boy, that's a great question. I have been writing for as long as I can remember, since I could probably write, but when they started actually making sense, I kind of remember it was about fourth grade. I'm of Greek descent, and I grew up in the restaurant business. I was always there, and I'd find a napkin or piece of paper or anything, and I would just write and write and write. And I'd even write songs that were popular, and I'd look at the lyrics and I'd analyze them, and I keep writing, and of course through the years my writing got a lot better. Thought I had honed my craft pretty good. Several years ago, I tried to digitize everything, and I was like, wow, I've written over a couple thousand songs, but
Wow.
it really is amazing to me. I think you can continue learning your entire life because I have to say the last 2, 3 years, even though I thought my lyric writing was okay, it has really gone to another level, and I think the fans are going to really appreciate that, not only on this year's CD, but on next year's CD. So I think you can always learn.
Yeah, constantly grow as always constantly grow as a musician. The more
Yep.
you do it, and especially like when you make mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes actually turn out to be blessings because all of a sudden you thought, "Now, how'd I do that? Because that sounded pretty cool."
Yeah.
I've done that a
Definitely.
lot of times myself. So, do you play any musical instruments?
The honest answer is that I screw around on the synthesizer, so I can pretend that I play every single instrument. But the truth is, I look at myself as lyrics are my number one passion and skill.
Right.
Number two is just singing. So what I've done is I create everything in a program called Logic on the computer.
Oh,
So I
okay.
get the melodies together and the drums, guitar, everything. And then what I'll do when I finish the lyrics and I'm sorry, the singing, then I'll kind of hire session musicians to throw the guitar down and the drums down, so everything's live. So
Right.
I can't claim that I have great skill in playing the guitar, the drums, or anything, but that's kind of the truth about me.
Well, that's still, that doesn't take away from your ability to write great lyrics and your ability to sing. I get a lot of requests, people coming on the show and your vocals are right up there with some of the best people that I've had on as indie artists. Did you take any like music lessons as far as singing lessons, or were you in choir or anything like that in school, or?
I was in choir in grammar school. I think, boy, I was an altar boy, and I think I remember around seventh grade I was in the choir for a year. And I think in some of the songs that I've tried to do, especially one of the ones coming out in a couple of months, Close Your Eyes, I definitely have that choir sound, that strong reverb words. And I think in a January when Close Your Eyes comes out, that's a song that basically I tried to envision, okay, what would people be hearing if they died and went up to heaven or something? What would the angels? That definitely had that choir influence. But in the rest of the songs, I think it's there a little bit, but I think most of it is I keep trying, I keep evolving, I truly feel like I have that 80s rock slash modern soft rock pop music blend, and that's probably the best way I can describe it. And I'm always trying, practicing, trying to get my vocal style better, and I'm always varying it. I don't want people to get bored of me and think, hey, he always sounds the same.
Right, right. Yeah, Yeah, the style you nailed the kind of the style down really good there as far as the kind of the 80s and the modern soft rock. It's got a good quality of sound, good beat, great lyrics, good melodies. And when you're writing your lyrics, are you kind of like, I know when I used to write, when I would write the lyrics, I would almost be able to hear the melody as I was writing the lyrics. Do you experience that same thing, or?
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite way to do it is to have the music, and then I can almost hear the lyrics and just write them. But most of the time, unfortunately, what happens is I'll write the lyrics first, and then you have a melody in your head, and you're like,
Right.
is this going to be pop? Is it going to be soft rock? And then, you kind of envision the instruments, and then you kind of put it together in Logic. Thank you for the compliment, by the way. I really do appreciate that. That was very nice to hear.
You're welcome. Now, when you're writing your lyrics, are the majority of your songs based on past experiences, or or is it just things that you just think about?
I think any of the great songwriters that I've studied, or just the songs that really touch me, that I kind of look at the lyrics and analyze them, definitely some of the songs are exactly about me. They are about my situation at whatever point in time. People might hear a song and they think about it, but there's a song I wrote 25 years ago. So you have to put it a little bit in perspective. But some of the songs, one of the things I think as a child growing up, I really believe that I can empathize with people. So some of the songs have nothing to do with me. I'll be driving by, or I'll read a story about something, or I'll read a book, or I'll just something, and I'll kind of try to put myself in that person's shoes, and then write a song about what they must have felt like that day.
Right.
Whether it was 9/11, whether it was just. So I don't have a percentage. Maybe it's half and half. I feel like both opportunities are wonderful.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Now, one of the things that I always experienced and was because I read that you're on your site as well that you're a perfectionist, and I think we all are when we're especially when we're composing our own music and such. Uh, but one of the problems I used to always have, and I'm curious if you have this problem, is it seems like it was never perfect enough, and it would be so hard to just let it go, at a point, because it seemed like I constantly wanted to, no, I want to do this, and no, I do you have that same issue, or do you do
Yeah,
you kind of like know when to let it go and it's fine, or?
I definitely have that problem. If I ever quote unquote make it or get bigger, I think when people find out what I do for a daily living, they're going to maybe understand what a perfectionist I am. But I think I've gotten better at it. I know that the first song, the first video, and like you said, you get to a point where you can analyze things, and I try to get reviews for each of my songs. One of the places is Reverb. You're rated by other musicians, and
Right.
nothing to hide. I thought I purposely made it the vocal style, but some people are like, it's great, but it's too monotonous. So you're never. I think as an artist, you're never going to make everybody happy. And you and I both understand that we did this guitar because of this, we did this vocal style because of this, the lyrics, it's this structure, but here I varied it to show nervousness or indecision. I think you can overanalyze it, and that definitely was a problem I used to have more than I do now. And I don't know if I'm ever going to think a song is perfect enough, even if it becomes a number one hit. I'm
Yeah.
always going to think, oh, I should record. I should re-record that. I think that now. I'm always thinking about that, but you do have to learn to let it go a little bit, and it's hard.
It is. It is, and I don't think anybody can understand that other than songwriters. It's
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah,
child to you, and it's like you just and we're a lot more harder on ourselves than the general public is too, because we hear
yeah.
every little mistake, and that was something that was hard for me to get used to, especially performing live. Would be you get out there, and of course there's going to be mistakes made. You just got to keep going. But what I eventually realized is 90% of the people out there didn't even realize a mistake was ever made.
That's very true. That's very true. And the other thing too is, I know I can hear things much differently now than even a year or two ago. But when you're performing live, it's always the conundrum of, okay, do they want to hear the song the way it sounds on the radio with all the effects and all the backup vocalists and all, or do they want to hear a live version? And that's the toughest thing because I feel like you're going to offend someone either way if you try
Right.
to skew it in one direction. And all you can do is try to do the best thing you can and be real to yourself, and hopefully you offend less people than you impress.
Right. The thing about it all too is and especially like with a lot of these mainstream artists now, they have the auto tune on their mics, so
Yeah.
they're never off key or anything. And then you go to their concert and it's like they're having a bad night and it's like, oh my God, what happened to them? And
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the worst things that an artist can do is use the auto tune because people are expecting one sound because they hear that all the time on the radio or on the albums they buy, and then they go to the concert and it's like, man, this guy can't even sing. Are you sure this is the same person?
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. And I've certainly used a little auto tune on some of the dance songs and some of the, but my sound when I think of vocally, what doesn't, it's something like Nothing to Hide, Are You Sure You Can Laugh? And then in the next CD, I think it's going to be even more apparent. But there's some songs where, believe one of my songs that just came out, there's a part that I purposely thought the song would be great if I made it a little flat for just this one word. And like I said, you can't win because people have almost gotten used to not hearing reality.
Yeah.
They just hear everything's perfectly auto-tuned, and it's like, that's not real. Yeah, it sounds nice for some songs, but at the end of the day, if you can speak, you can sing, and you just got to be yourself.
Right. Right. Now, do you perform a lot out in public, or
I
do you
I
strictly just write and put it online?
I have performed, and I'd love to perform more. My last performance was at the Toronto Music Festival this year, and the problem I have being a solo music artist, which is kind of really gnawing at me because it feels up to me. I'd love to go on tour. I'd love to perform like once or twice a week. But when you're a solo music artist, no one's vested in your music. I had to hire session musicians, and it's a big pain in the butt to keep them together. One guy doesn't show up. One guy, I had a band that was supposed to go to Toronto with me that dropped out like 2.5 weeks before. So then I had to struggle to find another band, and then, of course you have to rehearse. So
Yeah.
after that experience, I said, you know what, I got to get bigger. When I get bigger, where people, so unfortunately, I've said no to a couple of venues. There's no right or wrong. I mean, I want a gig, I want to perform, but I feel like unless I get a little bit bigger, where I can consistently have a band, meaning I'm paying them and I can give them business like every week. Otherwise, they're just not interested. They're going to blow you off. They're going to keep canceling.
Right.
If I could go out there by myself with a boombox for the instruments, for the music, I would do it. But then, I don't think people would be that impressed with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you, it's probably one of the most difficult things to do is have a band that's reliable and sticks together. It is really really difficult. I know that from experience, and
And imagine if they don't own any rights to the music. I mean, then they're even less interested.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes it really really tough.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, where can people find your music?
I try to have an internet presence everywhere. So my main website is melogia.com. It's www.melogia.com. And my name is Sarantos, Sarantos. If you hook up with me, you can Google me. I will come up number one. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Reverb Nation. Just you can message me anywhere. I respond to everybody myself. I have no marketing agency. So I love interacting with the fans when they put posts on Facebook or YouTube, and it's been a great ride.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that really brings a better following of fans when you interact with them personally. That's what I do too, and I think that's really important.
Slow and steady wins the race. But my strategy is I'm giving them something every week. So there's always a
Right.
music video, a song, and I would rather do that than for me to release a CD every 2, 3 years. then they don't hear about me.
Right.
I'd rather stay in touch with them. Yep, absolutely.
That's actually a pretty cool idea. I've never heard anybody doing that before. I like that. That's really a cool idea.
Yeah, and that was part of the dilemma too, because no one had done anything like this, and some of the feedback I got was, "Are you crazy? What are you doing? You're going to release?" And it's kind of working so far. And one of the other things I'm doing is, like I said, it's going to be a new song and video every month, a new CD every November. But the cool thing is, I'm just going to release this in about a week or so. But I'm also in a month, on Black Friday, November, going to release a Christmas CD. So it's
Oh,
going to have 4
nice.
originals, 10 covers, and 9 Christmas short stories.
Oh,
It's something
very
I'm going to
nice.
kind of surprise the fans. So basically, this year I'm going to have 2 CDs.
Well, you're going to have to get one to me so I can air it during Christmas season.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely send it to you.
That'd be great because I'd love to air, during, usually right after Thanksgiving all the way up to the beginning of the year. I start running Christmas music like crazy, and less repeats of the talk shows because it's just I like the festivity of it, and it's always fun to listen to the music, and I especially love original Christmas music. I'm always advertising, next month I'll start advertising out there on Facebook and everywhere, if anybody's got, any original Christmas music they'd like to have aired, get it to me because I just really love playing original Christmas music, because you get kind of tired of the same old stuff every year.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
It's time for a change. Well, anyway, before we get out of here, I'm going to be playing a song to close out the show today, and it's called Back and Forth. Would you like to let the listening audience know a little bit about that song before we head on out?
Absolutely, Michael. So this last song is called Back and Forth. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we're all ultimately, at some point in our lives, at some point in the day, indecisive. Whether it's about a relationship, whether it's about what we're going to have for dinner. So this song is about someone who goes back and forth, and can't quite make up his mind. So I hope you enjoy it.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you join us again next week at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 p.m. Eastern right here on New Visions Radio. And taking us out is Sarantos for this song, Back and Forth.
Lately, I hear the melodies of sorrow as the story unfolds. As the darkness draws near, my heart starts feeling sorrow, and it cries out in fear. The night surrounds me, its emptiness divides me. As I look for the answers, I try hard to find questions, but my heart won't let me think as the pain makes me weak. Back and forth, I know, never right or wrong. My mood changes so quickly as my heart beats endlessly. Back and forth, I go, never wrong or right. My mind changes so quickly, and my mood swings carelessly. I never felt this good, never felt this right. As the story goes on, so does the fight.